Hi-ho, DJ LK here from Holy Simchas. One of the first questions that people often ask when they're inquiring about a vendor, a service provider for their bar bat mitzvah, their b'nai mitzvah party, is how much do you charge? So I'd like to just address that straight out here. It's a very fair question. It's a very good question. In a sense, it's not the most accurate question because the next question would be for what? And once we get into the question of for what, then we're getting into really customization, and we're really beginning to actually plan the party and getting to the Simcha vision. That means the vision for where the party's going to be, who's going to be there, what the guest list is going to be, composed of, the size of the guest list. Are we talking about 50 guests, or are we talking about 150 guests? And the needs change. Obviously, the needs in food change, but did you know that the needs for a DJ also are changing? In other words, if you're having a 50-person party, it's one set of equipment that's appropriate to address that group, that size. If you're having 150 people, it's a different set of equipment. That's not the only factor, right? Obviously, if you're having an outdoor party, it's a different set of speakers. It's a different power of speakers. If you're going to have your event on a rooftop where there is no elevator and no parking, that's going to incur another, an add-on. So in order to simplify all this, I just want to we've come down with the model after 12 years of creating custom price quotes. Custom price quotes for over 1,000 clients. The system we come up with is quite simple. Basically, when it comes to Holy Simchas DJ Entertainment, there are two products really. One is the party planning service, which you may or may not find yourself in need of, right? If you already know your venue, and if you already know your date, and if you already know the composition of your guests, then you're already kind of not so much in need of the full party planning service. You might benefit just from the hour consultation that's included in your package, and we might have some tips for other vendors you might want to use, because when you're using a team of vendors who work together frequently and work together well, then your overall outcome, your overall party is going to be more successful. Wow, that was a lot of information, right? And that's all essential information in order to understand how the pricing works. So when it comes to, if somebody's coming into a conversation with a Holy Simcha specialist, and let's say they're at phase 1, 2, or 3 of their event planning, but they really do want to have that conversation. So that's already a party planning call. And party planning calls right now are on sale for half off, so that's 400 shekels per hour. And we can talk more about what that planning involves. Now, that's not the complimentary party planning calls that comes when somebody takes a DJ package. Okay, so remember I said there are two services that we at Holy Simchas offer. One is the party planning, and that's basically an hourly rate, right? And that's something that we can talk about in another video. But the main product that people are generally hiring for us, I'd say 60 to 80% of the time, is that they're either planning their own party, and they want to do it themselves, or they have a party planner. In either case, whether it's their party planner who's contacting us because they know that we're the right team to do this job, or it's they themselves that are contacting us, whether they are contacting us based on that they've been with us before for events, or they've been guests at events that we've done, and they're just going, when I've got my bar pot mitzvah, they're the ones I'm going to call. Or they've heard about a reputation, or they've just seen video demonstrations of what it is that a Holy Simchas event looks like, and they said, that's what I want. Whether they saw a video demonstration or they heard a description, whether it was recommended to them by a friend and they've never seen us before, whether they're coming from anywhere in Israel and hosting it anywhere in Israel, or coming from outside of Israel and hosting it in Israel. If they've either party planning themselves or event planning themselves, or they have a designated event planner, then they're kind of coming to us at phase 3, all right? Phase 3 of the 5-phase party planning process. Phase 3 means they're already ready to look for their vendors. So when you're looking for your vendors, the first thing you've got to tell your prospective vendor is, this is my date, are you available? The answer is quite simply because, what if you start saying, well, what's your product and what is your price? And you find out it's the perfect product and it's just the right price, but they're not available on your date. So not only was it a waste of your time, but it's a little bit of a, what we say in Hebrew, a basa that's not available. The other thing to know about booking, and in terms of like your journey along with Holy Simchas, or really ideally with any of your vendors, is that once you know that this is the right vendor for that slot for what you need, then you should try to book them right away. I mean, even if you don't have a venue, and your venue is something you're deliberating between a couple of venues, but you know that this is the vendor who's going to make this Simcha vision into a reality. And when I say book them right away, that means they're available on your date. You've had enough information from them to know this is the right direction, this is the right concept, this is the right team member, this is the right person to give over a lot of responsibility for your party being a success. And go ahead and go through the process of the booking process, and you're gonna reserve the date with them. Probably gonna fill out a form or two or three to really get a confirmation. You want to get a confirmation that you've given a deposit. Once you've given a deposit, which at the time of, we're right now in September 2023, and we are having a sale, half off sale. So the deposit is also half off. It's only 400 shekels to make a deposit. That's roughly $100. And you can make that through BIT. You can make it through bank transfer. It's the same price as just an hour consultation, and you get the hour consultation inside your party planning package as complimentary. Sorry, you get the party planning video call complimentary, just for having signed up for a DJ package, even the minimal DJ package. Now we get to the information about what do you charge, right? Before we talk about what, I'm going to tell you what we charge and what you can choose. Imagine you're going to get a bagel and you say, well, what do I get for, I don't know, what do I get for $3, right? Okay, so what do I get for $3? What do I get for 12 shekel? Well, you get a bagel. You can choose the kind of bagel you want. You can choose if it's toasted, how toasted it is. You can choose some of the toppings, but some toppings are add-ons. They're extras, right? If you want lox, that's more expensive than tuna. Tuna might be included and lox might not be included, right? It might be an add-on if you want. I don't know. I like pesto. What do you like on a bagel? If you want pesto, that may go. So according to your different vendors, you're going to find out what might be, the add-ons that they offer, and what might be included in their basic package, right? So instead of having 3 packages to choose from, the way that we model and structure our fees is based on the basic package and different add-ons. So how much is the basic package and what's included? The basic package is on sale now for half off, and it's unbelievable. It's only 3,000 shekels, okay? Now, if you're in Israel, if you're dealing with people in Israel, and they say, Zerak shlosh telefim, be careful, watch out, okay? Because that's what I saw on Facebook the other day, because why are they saying only or just? Are they trying to minimize like your sense of like, this is a pretty penny for me? I don't know. Maybe it's not for you. Maybe you're having a huge event where you're having celebs, and it's a tiny fraction of your budget. Maybe you're having, going through a rough time, and you're going, listen, I can only afford 3,000 shekels, and I gotta feed people as well. So wherever you're fitting into that whole variable, and we've done the whole range of bar mitzvahs where people overall investment in the bar mitzvah was 5,000 shekels. And we've done bar mitzvahs where the overall investment was probably closer to 100,000 shekels. That's talking about after they've gotten a venue, food, and music. That's what I'm calling a simcha. Once you've got a venue, food, music, and guests, it's a simcha. Everything on top of that is add-ons, right? So if you're going to have a bar, a fancy bar with fancy cocktails, if you're going to have a cake or not have a cake, if you're going to, whatever you're going to have, you're going to have a caricature artist, a magician, a hypnotist, a mentalist, hula hoop dancer, fire dancers, fire jugglers, fire swallowers. If you're going to have a craft at the beginning, if you're going to have letters that you're going to write to Chayalim, and you're going to need pens and paper, or if you're going to have a guest speaker come and give a presentation on Tchelet, if you're going to have any number of these other things as part of your simcha. These are all called add-ons. Some of these add-ons are things that we can provide directly, like a giant 3-meter tall Nanach doll or Admor, or a giant 1.5 meter wide inflatable ball that your children can go in and roll around in. Confetti. There are things that are add-ons that we can provide, and there are things that are add-ons that we can help you resource. A mentalist is not something that I'm currently, I'm not currently, maybe sometime in the future, I'm not currently brushed up on my act as a mentalist. I'm a DJ primarily, right? Actually, I'm a DJ, MC, sound man, event coordinator, hype guy. It's actually 5 roles that Rivka, Dean, and I play, and they're all wrapped into just one name called DJ. But don't let that fool you, because DJ can mean anything. It can mean anybody who just picked up a laptop and a speaker and has no idea how to read a crowd, doesn't have a variety of knowledge of music, doesn't have a background in dance, doesn't know how to get people on their feet. So when we say a Holy Simcha DJ, somebody said, you should call yourself a Holy Simcha guru because you're so much more than a DJ. I don't love that. I'll rather just take what DJ means and say a DJ shouldn't be just somebody who just says they're a DJ, right? There should be some criterion certification process. If you're interested in becoming a qualified, certified Simcha DJ, then contact us about our DJ Academy. Okay, we've trained and certified and supervised several people who went from 0 to being a wonderful DJ. So back to our point about pricing, right? The basic package right now is $6,000 and it's on sale for $3,000. That's right now. I can't tell you how long this price reduction is going to last. And I know this sounds straight like an infomercial. Only the truth is, the economy is so weird, right? So our gas prices have gone up just to drive our equipment to get to you. So we need to compensate for all these different fluctuations in the general market. I honestly cannot tell you how long the sale is going to last, but you just go ahead and say, listen, if you understand that this is the price and this is something that you want, let us know, and we'll as much as inflation has been going up, we will do our best to keep our prices low. Okay, that's because we're doing this for our passion and our love for Simcha. So it does enable us to go, okay, we've got some room there. If you're coming from a special circumstance, a single parent circumstance, a disabled parent circumstance, and you are, you're in touch with the Revacha, you're in touch with the social services, or maybe there's a charity organization who wants to help you. We do have a program, and sometimes when our business is flowing and flourishing, during those periods, and there's plenty of full-priced bookings coming in. So we do have the ability to do our maaser in that way, and give deep discounts, even just for the price of gas sometimes, or sometimes just a reduced price. So that is sometimes an option. And we do have a chesed organization called the Holy Simchas Chesed Project. People are interested in donating or sponsoring simchas. They can make donations there. Currently that's set up at the Gush Etzion Foundation, and they can make tax-deductible donations there, get a tax-deductible receipt, whether they're coming from North America or whether they're coming from within Israel. And that goes directly to sponsoring smachot for children, boys and girls, from difficult situations like single-parent homes, or situations where, orphaned children, and children with parents with chronic medical issues. So for more information about that, feel free to contact me. Now the question is, the answer is, okay, so you've asked the question, how much do you charge? So I charge for a huge event on a rooftop where there's no parking, and I've got to bring up 20,000 shekels of heavy stairs, heavy equipment upstairs in the rain, while caterers are also walking up those narrow stairs, a different price than I charge for somebody who's just in the neighborhood and has a party for 50 people, and in scenario A they have 500 people. So I charge differently based on the needs. Let's talk about and can you say, well, I don't understand. Some people go, I don't understand. Because all the bar mitzvahs in my neighborhood are the same. They're all 100 people. Well, it might be that the neighborhood right across the street, every bar mitzvah there is 150 people. And that's just their norm. It might be that in your neighborhood, the norm is having the kids' class, and then for a full meal, and immediate family for a full meal, and then inviting your adult friends from the neighborhood for a dessert. It might be that that's the standard, and across the street, it might be that they don't do that. They just do kids, pizza, and DJ, right? Of course, everything I'm talking about is within the realm of simchas, right? Simchas means there are guests, there's a bala simcha, there's food, there's a space, and there's music. Okay, that's when I say simchas. That's what I'm talking about. Are there other ways to celebrate? That's the traditional way to celebrate a bar mitzvah or a bat mitzvah, with those 5 components. Could you go do laser tag? Could you, instead of having a DJ, could you have a paint party? Could you have a mystery theater party? Yes, you could do those things. Those are not what I'm referring to necessarily as simchas, unless you're going to have a component in that paint party, or a component in that mystery theater party, where there's at least a little bit of music and at least a little bit of dancing. Okay? Could be the most minimal amount of dancing. Could be like this little finger, Simon Tov and Mazel Tov. I don't consider it a simcha if you're just going to have raunchy rap music. If your whole playlist as parents is raunchy rap music, you can call that a simcha all you want. I'm not judging you for calling it a simcha. It might be on the Bo Bayom. It might be on the day of the boy's bar mitzvah. But you don't need to check if I'm available for that date, because it's not what I consider simcha. Now that leaves a huge range, because I said it's going to have some music and some dancing. That dancing could be in the Hasidic shuffle, where we just walk around in a circle. If you want to have a holy simcha, you probably want to have it more lively. And maybe your family is full of people who know how to dance and do the lines backwards and forward dance, and the tunnel dance, and the duck dance, and the penguin dance, and the Yidden dance, and the Baruch HaGever dance. Maybe your family already is so familiar, and you just play the music DJ, and we know what to do. Or maybe your family and friends have no idea, and they're cold about getting onto the dance floor. Once they get onto the dance floor, they don't understand if their circle should start shuffling to the left or shuffling to the right. All those are part of our wonderful passion to see how people move socially at simchas, to help them get the freedom of movement, and to affect al yedei rikudim u'mechiat kaf al kaf mamtikim kol adinim. How we do it, that's the magic. I'm not going to go into explaining that now, because we're really trying to focus just on price. So now we get into the variables, because 3,000 shekels. Okay, so I'll put in my budget 3,000 shekels. As I said, sometimes we've done things for things that are special circumstances. The Holy Simchas Chesed project, like I said, it could be less than 3,000 shekels. It could be that you just want a small speaker for a party for your 50-year-old autistic son. These are all real circumstances. And okay, so you just want a speaker for an hour and a half. You don't really need one of our live DJs there. You're fine with a playlist, but you want somebody operating that prefab playlist that they made or that you made. Okay, that could come out then less than 3,000 shekels. But when people ask for a bar mitzvah DJ, okay, and this is all the sale prices, I'm just speaking in the sale prices now, 3,000 shekels gets you your starter package. Your starter package includes your DJ. When I say DJ, again, I'm talking about your DJ, and then the options for how you want to have him or her effective at your party, right? Do you want him to bring out skills as an MC, handling the microphone, deciding who gets to speak, who doesn't, and in what sequence, introducing them or not introducing them? You can't just have a microphone at a bar mitzvah on a table without being attended, because kids will come and pick it up and scream at it. So he's also your MC. He's also primarily he's your DJ first and foremost, okay? Secondarily, he's your MC. He's also your sound man. That means he's adjusting sound. If you're having a slideshow, he's making adjustments on it. He's setting the sound system up for your slideshow. Maybe he's even setting up the projector for your slideshow. So he's your audio-visual person. Again, he's managing the microphone. He might be emceeing in terms of calling people to the dance floor besides introducing people who are speaking. If your crowd is really cold and you really want them involved, then you might want him to have a whole crowd participation. Everybody clap your hands to the beat. Something simple like that, or everybody clap your hands when I clap my hands. You might have a lot of little kids there, right? It might be that you guys are coming from outside of Israel and your son doesn't have friends there from his class, or he's just got a lot of kid cousins there, and so your MC might engage them a little bit with some talk on the microphone. He's also making announcements. Maybe people don't know where the bathrooms are. Maybe people don't know when it's time to eat because that needs to be announced. So the roles that he's playing, he or she, is first of all your DJ. We have a whole video about what that means. Again, it's not just coming with a laptop and some songs and saying, I'm going to play these songs. We'll talk about what it really is. So DJ, you got your MC, you've got your sound and visual man. Sometimes that's not the case, right? Sometimes you're going into having a bar mitzvah in a place where there's built-in sound system, right? So in that case, he's kind of your sound man, also because he is operating all of his 20,000 shekels of equipment, his mixer, his controller, his microphone from his station. But he's not bringing and installing the sound and setting up a sound system. So what it means exactly that I'm just going to say he, it could be he or she, that he is your sound audiovisual man. It varies depending on venue, right? Some venues have a built-in projector, and so you won't be needing a projector. Okay, so he's your operator for those things. He is your hype man. Now, you may or may not need this, and this is somewhat overlaps with the function of MC, but your hype man is not saying everybody's everybody's welcome to wash hands for bread. Your hype man is out on the dance floor, or a woman, and they're doing all kinds of things. Okay, we want to understand exactly what your hype man does. It's making people feel comfortable being in their bodies and moving to music. That's it. Nobody said anything about dancing. It's making people feel comfortable in their bodies and moving to music, right? That's your hype man. And he has a million ways to do it. It's movement, games, and activities from theater, from summer camps. It's interacting with adults. It's giving people maybe sometimes a costume to feel a little bit permitted to act a little goofy, because after all, it's a dance floor. It might be interacting with the DJ and saying, hey DJ, slow that song down. I'm going to teach it, and I see that the crowd doesn't know the steps to Baruch HaGeber, so interacting with the DJ. So we've got those roles down, right? So what do we get? Well, what you're getting is not just somebody who's going to come and play some music from their laptop, right? You get, when it's a small enough party, a Holy Simchas event guru, right, a Simcha specialist, a Holy Simcha DJ, can play these 5 roles, okay? The fifth role is really important. Now, if you have a party planner, there has to be one captain of the ship, right? A DJ, to a certain extent, can extend a dance round. A dance round is usually 20 to 40 minutes long, usually. And it really depends on a number of factors how long that dance round is. But we'll get that when we talk about scheduling and how to build a bar mitzvah schedule. So your event manager, right? That role, the name of that role can go to a few different people. It could be your party planner, your event planner, but sometimes people call themselves an event planner, and really what they are is or an event designer, is a lighting designer. And they come and they put up lights, or balloon designer, but they also put on their business card party planner. And maybe what they mean by that is they give referrals to other vendors. They listen to the client and they hear what their client vision is, and they say, I suggest you hire, this person for that, for that role, or that company for that role, right? Be that getting a cotton machine, be that, and the actual event itself, they may not be functioning as the event manager. The event manager has to make assessments, and those assessments largely have to be based on the flow of the event. So if people are going to be leaving soon, you see people are a bit antsy, they're going to get home, and you have a decision to make. Should you move up the slideshow in the schedule, or should you keep it and risk that people won't see it? There's always adjustments that need to be made based on the reality, the metziut b'shetach, as we say in Hebrew. I should answer frequently the question, do you speak Hebrew? My child is in an all Hebrew speaking environment. So the answer is betach anachnu medabrim ivrit. Ken. אני כאן ב-20 שנה. אני בארץ 20 שנה. כן. היינו גרים ביישוב שדיברו שם עברית. וכן, אבא שלי ישראלי. אשתי גם מדברת עברית. וכשהיא מדברת בתור מנחה של ערב, בטח היא יכולה לעשות כל הקריאות וכל המידע היא יכולה להעביר גם באנגלית וגם בעברית. What I said there was we're both bilingual. Rivka Dina is actually bilingual also in Spanish. So all announcements and all interactions with the crowd can be made in Hebrew and in English. Is the Hebrew perfect? It's not perfect, no. It is better than it's better than it was yesterday, and it's not as good as it's going to be tomorrow. But כן, אנחנו מדברים עברית, וזה לא, אין שום בעיה להתייחס לקהל שלכם בעברית. I said, we speak Hebrew just fine, and there's no problem with us interacting with your audience in Hebrew. That's just a frequently asked question that comes up often. So you can see, so the event manager, there's so many scenarios where the role, the function, I'm going to say putting on that hat, to use that example of like when we change hats, we change roles. To put on that role, that tafkid in Hebrew, of event manager, that might be going between the caterer and the dance floor and saying, okay, caterer, you should be ready. Can you be ready to serve the main in 10 minutes, in 5 minutes? Maybe we're seeing that people want to dance longer, so hold the waiters back if there are waiters, right? Every adjustment and every minute, because a simcha really, it's like a show. It's like if you've ever been involved in a performance on stage, the timing is everything. So when a character comes in, when they leave, it can make a whole big difference in terms of the flow of the show, the meaning of what's happening there, depending on the flow. I'll give you one example. Girls come up to us at a bat mitzvah and they say, we made a kahoot. Okay, so they made a kahoot, but when you're running a kahoot, for example, is there cell phone reception? Do enough people have smartphones? And then, if there's not cell phone reception, or you don't have the right code, how much time are you going to devote for those little girls who worked hard to make a kahoot to go ahead and call their mommy? Maybe their mommy's nursing the baby, maybe she's not available, maybe she doesn't have the password, they need the password. 10 minutes can go by with dead time at a party, and it can kill the vibe. So your event manager, built into your DJ, right, has to be looking at the situation and going, this is taking too long, we have to do another dance round now. And they've got music on key, they know the song that's going to get everybody on their feet. It's probably Bubble It, unless you're in Ramat Beit Shemesh at a school called Darchei Noam, which case it won't be Bubble It. But most other places in the world, people can dance Bubble It again and again, because it's so much fun. Or it might be Cotton Eye Joe. But as soon as people hear that, they get the beat in their feet and they get on the dance floor. So your event planner head, it sounds like, well, that's the DJ head. He's making the decision going, okay, he knows the tech bit, he knows how long it might take them if they're going to get that Kahoot going, or if they're trying to get a slideshow that they made on their phone of themselves making silly faces, but they want to put it on and they don't have a way to get it off their phone. He knows, okay, this is gonna resolve itself in 1 minute, and so we're gonna move on, and there's going to be another part of the program, because we don't want to lose people. People are a little bit like sheep, right? And especially with their simcha, they're like, okay, if they're really enjoying the company and just talking to their friends, that's great, and that happens 50% of the time. But with kids, they can get restless in a second. Remember, at the end of their day, they're pumped up on on good food. They've been to lots of simchas, or will be going to lots of simchas, and they need not necessarily action, like put them in front of video games all the time. And in fact, I advocate for not having video games or smartphones at the event. But actually, they need a flow to the event that's going to keep carrying them through the 3 or 4 hours of the event, so that they know there's something expected of them, some role that they're expected of them, some way that they have to behave, whether that's they're interacting with a game show or a quiz show about the bar mitzvah boy, or they're dancing in a circle, or they're holding a giant challah skirt for a bat mitzvah, or a giant talit for a chatan, or they're putting on costumes, or they're doing a certain dance, or they're playing the dance game where one person, everybody does what that person does. That person may be wearing a Hawaiian necklace, and everybody do what the Hawaiian necklace wearer is wearing and move that around, or whether they're doing the lift up the bar mitzvah boy, or any other 50 things that we do at a bar mitzvah that they don't know without the hype guy necessarily. Some classes do, but most don't, without the hype guy saying, okay, now let's transition to this dance floor activity. Okay, so you've got those 5 roles, and that's basically what you're getting. That's basically what you're paying for at the sale rate of reduced from 6,000 to 3,000 shekels, and you get that for 3 hours. Okay, that's 3 hours of party time. You want a 4-hour party? Simply add 1,000 shekel. Okay, all prices here are the half-off prices right now. Now, there are some venues where we're happy to, listen, If you'd like us to bring a sound system, we can bring that complimentary. There are some places where they already have a built-in sound system, and there are some places where, and certain circumstances and situations surrounding your simcha, where we might say, we can provide you a sound system for an add-on fee of X. Okay, it really depends on the venue, and yeah, I'll just give you one example. Right now, if you want to book an event in Ahavat Zion, right? Or if you want to book an event in Beit Shemesh, or not Beit Shemesh, or if you want to book an event, let's say at the Nitzanim Beit Knesset, right? In Baka in Yerushalayim, okay? Right now, I'm willing to, yes, it's a huge value, 20,000 shekels equipment, I'm willing to complimentary add that in. Okay, that means that we're bringing 20,000 shekels of equipment, which is high quality equipment. It needs purchasing, maintenance, and transportation, and an hour of bringing it in and setting up, and an hour of taking it down. That's our complimentary New Year gift to you. It's right after Rosh Hashanah right now, before Sukkot. So I'd say that that very valuable add-on, which in itself, if you want to hire a sound company just to bring in the mixer, controller, table, speakers, speaker stands, microphone, wireless microphone. This is without the DJ, right? Projector, screen. 20,000 shekels of equipment transported there, set up, there for you to operate and take, and then taken down. That itself could cost easily 4,000 shekels to rent that equipment and have it set up for you. So complimentary now until Sukkot at shuls like Nitzanim, if you're having a Nitzanim party, or a Ahavat Zion party at Ahavat Zion, maybe a couple other venues, complimentary. Wow, it's big. Okay. What is included? Okay, what is included? What's not included? So, like I said, add on another hour, and your sale price now is going to go from 3,000 to 4,000. Okay, if you want to add on, let's say you're having you want like a designated hype guy because you're having more than 50 people, and you see, it's gonna require a hype guy. You don't want your DJ running around teaching Baruch HaGever and then going back behind his desk to adjust the beats per minute, even to change the beats per minute, the tempo of the music slightly, so that people can catch on, or that people will stay involved. You want your DJ there designated at his booth as your DJ. And again, if you're having under 50 people, all right, you could it's probably on a tighter budget. It's 50 boys, 3-hour party, totally sufficient, and you could have just one DJ kind of running back and forth doing both of those tasks. Because he can't be in two places at once, he's not being able to do them optimally, but you could save on that. How much could a hype man or a hype woman cost? A dance motivator is another word for it. Prices vary. Right now, half off. So instead of 2,000, 1,000. Okay, right now, before Sukkot. After Sukkot, we have to see where inflation is. Okay, so the other add-ons are, like I said, a giant inflatable chassid doll, a giant inflatable roly-poly ball. There's so many different options. DJ lights, fog machines, but each one has to be customized. So basically, if you've gone through our little how to plan or how to go about planning a bar bat mitzvah party, and you realize what stage you're in the stage or phase you're in the planning process, be that stage 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, and you figure, well, I'm on stage 1, and I want assistance from this point, then go ahead and call us and say I'd like to sign up for my first hour of the party planning service, and then we'll take it from there. That will be billed at a rate of, again, on sale now for 400 shekels an hour. And if you go, no, I know that I have a party planner, or I am going to be my own party planner, and you already have your date and your size of number of guests, and more or less your number of guests and your venue, if you've already got those factors, then you're coming into us at stage 3 of the party planning phase, and you're welcome to say yes. Okay, I definitely want the minimum package on sale now at 3,000 shekels for a 3-hour party, and I'd like to talk to you about my party. And great. So what we'll do at that stage is we'll book you in, okay, through a deposit, 400 shekel deposit, and we'll book you in for the date, and then we'll talk to you about if that is exactly the package you want, because you're probably having a 50-person party and you want it to last about 3 hours, and it's in Jerusalem, um, or or Gush Etzion. And then you're great. We're good to go. We can go ahead and schedule the party planning meeting right after you've given your deposit, and then we'll get to designing that 3-hour party. Alternatively, if you go, I'm sure that I'm having more than 50 people, or I'm sure I want it to go more than 3 hours, so let's begin talking about which add-ons might be appropriate for you for your party.